Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare with your children being raised by someone else? With our free information, you can lead a less stressful life, work from home, and start earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom41.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom41.com. Freedom41.com. And start earning great money as soon as next week.
The legendary Peter Noone is joining us on the line right now. Hi, Peter.
Hi, thanks. Jeremy, legendary, that's always makes me sound like I'm not quite alive anymore.
Oh, well, how about iconic? What would you suggest?
Well, it depends which town you're in, but I'll go with anything you call me. Anything you call me now, as long as you get the name spelled right.
We'll do that. All right, perfect. So now you're still touring, you're still rocking. After all these years, you know what? I think that's something to be proud of, right? You know, you can say that you're getting older, but you know what? You've still got it. So hey, that's the main point, isn't it?
Exactly. I think you know what it is. I discovered recently what I found out is that I'm this 17-year-old boy that lives inside a 63-year-old man's body.
Right.
And I have to. When I go on stage, I actually think I'm 63. It's almost Stanislavski. It's like, I believe, you know, I become another person for an hour and a half. And by the way, that you feel that the next day when you're 63.
Do you? So, well, now aside from that, though, how does it feel, though? I mean, is it still exciting when you go out there? Like, what's it like still on the road?
It is. You know, what happened is, it's very funny. I did a sort of, I'm in Nashville, and my daughter came to a concert here. There was a band playing Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. And I was just going to be a guest and sing See Emily Play, which is not really part of Dark Side of the Moon. So they played the whole of Dark Side of the Moon brilliantly, I may add. And then at the end they had like guests who got up and sang, and I sang See Emily Play. And my daughter said, "Are you nervous?" I said, "Of course I'm nervous. I'm always nervous." And then I realized that, you know, people, if you're not nervous, it means you're too comfortable in it. Mm-hmm. Because I don't have a set list, and I don't, like, deprogram the show to be, you know, the same old day in, day out. It wasn't really for myself that I did. I wanted to make sure that the Hermits always were, you know, enthusiastic, really, because if you don't know what the next song is, you have to listen and you have to pay attention, like in a play. Mm-hmm. I'm very enthusiastic, and I'm always very nervous because, first of all, I don't know what I'm going to do next. So it means that look of enthusiasm on their faces could also be consternation. What the heck is he going to do next?
All right.
And they know that I don't know. So it keeps it very fresh, you know. I mean, we're kind of all excited to do concerts. We're always happy to see each other. You know, I know bands that don't have that option, you know, that they're all, we don't hang out. We don't all go out to dinner together every day. We just friends musically. And that was the part of that. That's what makes it work, I think. We get on the road and we do what we do as well as we can. It's never perfect.
Yeah. What do you do before a show then to relax? If you're nervous, what happens before a show?
Well, I've got a routine. I'm one of those old-timers. You know, I get in my dressing room. I have no visitors for an hour before, and I do these warm-ups. You know, me, Mamo, moo, and I do stretches, and then I talk to the band about, and then I find out where I am and where the people in the audience are likely to be from. It's just old formula, you know, that you would, almost like a stand-up comedian, you have to have that bit of time before on to get yourself in order. Yeah. And I always do that. I mean, I've always done that, and people misinterpret. You say, you know, the sort of fashion, we say, guests, no alcohol, no smoking, no visit, you know. The dressing room is where we prepare for the show, and usually one of the parts of the warm-up is we usually sing like a couple of Everly Brothers, or a couple of Beatles songs, and for our own entertainment. You know what I mean? We sing music with each other. We play guitars, and people wonder what we're doing on the downtime, and on the downtime we're doing what we're doing on the stage.
So what song of yours, because I know you're playing, you know, hits from way back, what's the song that gets the biggest response at your shows? Is there always one that people go crazy for?
You know, it changes. You know, there's different songs. You know, there's some songs that we do like in Europe that are not even known in America. You know, it's just strange. You know, I like to open with "I'm to Something Good" because it's such a great opening song. You know, woke up this morning feeling fine, and I always end with "There's a Kind of Hush All Over the World," and they both get probably the biggest First of all, they think, why is he starting with one of his best songs? Well, we've got loads of them.
Yeah.
But then, and then some nights, we do No No Today, which was a B-side in North America, and that gets a huge response because people play it. That's the one that sort of people discovered after the band. Sort of discovering a Buddy Holly song that was his B-side, but is your favorite. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we get big response to No No Today sometimes, and we get, each song has a different place. Like if you're playing in California, I Must to Avoid was the biggest song in California. Who knows? I think they're all I treat them all with the maximum amount of respect, and everybody in the band has to try to play it at least as good as it was on the original recording by 17-year-old boys.
Now, I know exactly, you started in music really early, and I mean, let's sort of shift gears then, because, show business, the kids are starting really young these days, and you did it obviously successfully. What are your thoughts on it in the way the celebrity world is now? Like, were you ready for fame personally? Do you think you could have handled it if you just started out today?
I don't think they have those vans anymore that you travel around with all your equipment and all your clothes in it.
Right.
And I think that is a necessary. If you think about the people who had any lasting appeal, they all did that. They drove around together in a van, and they got rid of the bass player because he had gas, and one guy drank too much, and they got rid of him. I think there's a period of 2 years that you need to just be finding who the band or who the entertainer is. And I think what happens now, people get pushed out there really quickly, and they burn out. Because if you don't know who you are in a band, then you're really going to struggle out there on the road. You're going to spend a lot of time in your room or in a bar. So we didn't because we knew we were Herman Sermits, and all we wanted to do was hear our songs on the radio. That was we didn't have a plan beyond that.
Right.
So we knew who we were. We were Herman Sermits. And people said, well, you need to do a psychedelic album. And we, laughed in their faces. Like anybody who would have bought the record would have laughed in our faces. Mm-hmm. We knew who we were and what we weren't capable of doing. And nobody could ever talk us into doing anything beyond that. You couldn't talk us into doing... They wanted us to do the Ed Sullivan Show, and we only agreed to do it because I wanted to meet Frankie Valli in the Four Seasons.
Okay.
We do it when they're on.
Right.
And it's kind of preposterous, but we did have a very good taste, I think, in we're playing in Memphis. Can I meet Elvis? You know what I mean?
Right. Well, and the reason why I ask that is because back in the day, it seems like there was more emphasis on the music and appreciation for the music, and I say it coincidentally, a girl from Winnipeg just last week posted a video on YouTube, and Lady Gaga saw it the next day. Then the girl was off to Toronto. Then just this morning she was on the Ellen show. Like, all within a week, she's all of a sudden, big time celebrity stardom, and she's 9 years old. I mean, I could only imagine it's exciting, but probably scary too, because now there's this expectation that she's going to be this big time recording artist, right? I mean, that's kind of what happens.
Yeah, I know. A friend of mine once said, the trouble with that is that the voice doesn't get better than that. You know what I mean? The trouble with making it too quickly is that sometimes the voice doesn't improve. You just become a regular singer. The thing is, wow, she's so great and she's only 9. Well, by the time she's 17, she'll only be the same as all those other 17-year-old singers. And it won't be good enough. Right,
and she's 9 and she can sing somebody else's song really nicely. That's kind of...
everybody loves all that. It's like Susan Boyle and all that stuff. Everybody loves something that just pops out. And it's all so ordinary. I mean, you mentioned Lady Gaga, which is they're just revamps of Madonna. I mean, I think it's when people what Herman Sun fight. Well, listen, when I started, if you were like anybody else, if they could liken you to somebody else, you wouldn't even get signed to the deal. Right. You've already got one of those. So explain that. Well, the Beatles weren't like Elvis Presley, and Elvis Presley wasn't like Herman Sermits, and Herman Sermits weren't like the Beatles or Elvis Presley or the Stones, and the Stones like the Zombies, and the Zombies weren't the Pacemakers, and the Zombies weren't like Herman Sermits, and the Herman Sermits weren't like the Stones weren't like Elvis Presley or the Beatles. for everybody that was in the charts those weeks, and none of them were like Roy Orbison or Gene Pitney, and they were all in the charts at the same time. And none of them you could be saying, it's like, because you heard the Stones, you knew it was the Stones.
Yeah.
But now I hear songs, I have no idea who it is.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Is it the Kings of Leon? Is it U2, or is it, wait, no, oh, sorry, it's Coldplay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, and exactly right.
There's hundreds and hundreds of people all making the same records. Well, you put a Roy Orbison. There are people all through the musical, each musical period who stand out. Sex Pistols, that's the Sex Pistols. Elton John, it's Elton John.
Mm-hmm.
Billy Joel, it's Billy Joel. There's all these people who pop out and you go, Billy Joel, Olivia Newton-John. You can name them. And they're the different. The rest of the people are just washing around in this fluff of disappointments because you know that they're not going to, 30 years from now, they're not going to be able to do it.
And I think that, a lot of the emphasis on computerization, in a sense, right? I mean, you don't even have to sing perfectly. It's the computer does all the work these days, it seems.
And that's a line out of my show, I say, and you will hear mistakes, but we only make them to prove we're not on a computer.
That's a good way to do it.
Sometimes there's a real train wreck, because we do songs that we don't know some nights, because that's what keeps it fresh.
Mm-hmm.
I went through this period for years where I would ask the audience to request a song that they thought we didn't know. And, you always get some schmuck who shouts out Freebird, but sometimes we get shouted out songs that have now become, we think we don't know them. Sometimes I only listen to the songs that I think, there's 100 people shouting. Of course, I'm like a magician, only going to choose the one that we know a bit of.
Right.
We added all kinds of songs to our repertoire from that element of saying, anybody got a request for a song that we don't know? And they'd shout out like Love Potion No. 9 or Do Wah Diddy or something that's their generation. And of course we play all those.
Mm-hmm.
You can play, that's what we do for fun. We
Right.
play the people's songs for fun.
Sounds like a very entertaining show, so I guess I'm not even going to ask what we can expect at the show, because you don't even know what we're going to expect at the show until you're up there.
You hear all of Hermit's biggest songs. We're going to do like I'm in Something Good and Wonderful World and Little People and Silhouettes and Just a Little Bit Better and Mrs. Brownie Got a Lovely Daughter and I'm Henry VIII I Am and She's a Must to Avoid and No Milk Today and There's Kind of Hush and probably I Walk the Line or Start Me Up by the Stones or It's Not Unusual by Tom Jones or Cheer Up, Daydream Believer by Davy Jones. We do all those and He Stopped Loving Her Today by George Jones. We do everything that we can fit in. We're always over time. We're one of those bands that always plays longer than we're supposed to.
They're turning the lights off in the background and you're still up there.
Yeah.
They're trying to close the place.
Yeah.
So I guess so we're going to see you March 10th at McPhillips Street Station, just down the street from the office here, and all of the details about your tour, because you're going all over the place. Actually, this is quite funny. I should point this out before we go. We had Latin singer John Cicada on the show last week. He was coming to Winnipeg, as you are now, and he was started out in Florida, and he went to Florida before he came to freezing Canada. So is that kind of how it goes? Because I know you're doing Florida right before Canada.
We don't care about stuff like that.
Okay.
We're an all-weather band. We're just happy that there's people anywhere who want to see us. So we just go wherever. And our agent has a monkey that throws darts at a globe of the world to choose our next venue.
I love it. Well, because, looking at your schedule, I mean, you're zigzagging all over the place. So that's also got to keep it really exciting, too.
Because we can't resist saying yes. People say, would you like to play? And we say yes before they tell us where it is.
And that's probably the good way to look at back to the whole showbiz thing, right? I mean, you don't want to get too cocky and too full of yourself. You want to still be grounded and humble about it.
We're old timers. We're still humble enough to admit that we've got the best job in the world.
You avoided the whole jaded attitude. That's great.
Yeah, all right. I feel sorry for people who get jaded. Hey, listen, in Nashville, you don't see any jaded people. They love to play.
Absolutely. And coincidentally, our company is launching a syndicated country music show next Monday, so that's why we love country music. It's great. So,
great.
So all the details, peternoone.com, right, is your website for all the details about your tour and upcoming events?
Yeah, peternoone.com, hermansermis.com, or all those Facebook places. It's all over the place. We constantly dabble in that.
Well, it keeps you out there. We'll be looking forward to March 10th here in Winnipeg. Peter Noone, thanks so much for joining us today.
Great, thank you. It was great talking to you. What fun.
Thanks very much. Appreciate it.